The door slams shut. Iron echoes down the corridor. John Bunyan stands still as the lock turns, knowing this moment may cost him everything: his freedom, his family, maybe his life. All he had to do was stop preaching. He didn't. This shouldn't have happened. He isn't a criminal. He hasn't stolen anything. He hasn't hurt anyone. Yet he is about to spend years behind bars for one reason only: he could not stay silent. John Bunyan's story begins far from this cell, in a small English village where faith meant little to him and trouble came easily. He was born poor, the son of a traveling tinker who fixed pots and pans just to survive. As a boy, John preferred games, swearing, and bell ringing over church. He knew the church well, but not God. Guilt followed him anyway. He carried it quietly, even when he tried to drown it out. Loss came early. His mother died suddenly, then his sister. Anger hardened him. When Civil War tore England apart, John left home and joined the army. One day, just before guard duty, John was preparing to take his post when another soldier stepped forward and asked to go in his place. There was nothing unusual about it. No warning, no sense of danger. John agreed and stood aside. Moments later, the sharp crack of a musket split the air. A single shot, then silence. The soldier dropped where he stood, struck in the head, and killed instantly. John froze. His ears rang. His hands went cold. He stared at the body, realizing how easily it could have been his own. If he hadn't stepped aside, he would have been the one lying there. That night, the thought followed him relentlessly. Why was he spared? Was it chance? Or was God watching, protecting him, calling him toward something he had spent his life running from? He returned home older, married young, and tried to settle down. Outwardly, he did everything right. Inside, nothing changed. He went to church. He sang. Then he went right back to his old life. The tension inside him grew. He knew something was missing, and no amount of religion could fix it. Then one afternoon in Bedford, he overheard a small group of women talking about God like he was real to them, personal, alive. John stopped walking, listened, and realized he had never known that kind of faith. Everything shifted. He began reading the Bible seriously, praying honestly, wrestling with himself. Eventually, he found peace, not in appearances, but in surrender. The change was obvious. John was baptized, and he couldn't keep quiet about what had happened. He started preaching anywhere people would listen: fields, homes, barns, even churches. Crowds gathered, but preaching like that was illegal. Worship was controlled. Permission mattered more than conviction. John knew the risk. He kept going anyway, which brings us back to the cell. The air is damp. The floor is hard. The noise never stops. Keys, voices, chains. 12 years. That's what the sentence becomes. 12 years away from his wife, from his children, from freedom. He could walk out at any time. If he agreed to stop preaching, he refuses. Life inside the prison is brutal, overcrowded, dirty, unforgiving. John doesn't complain. He works, making bootlaces to help his family survive. He talks with other prisoners. And in the quiet moments, he writes. Words fill the darkness. He begins a story, not about himself directly, but about a man named Christian, a traveler burdened by guilt, fleeing destruction, desperate for relief. The journey is dangerous. The path is narrow. The setbacks are constant. There are no shortcuts, only endurance. Page by page, the prison disappears. The journey grows. Landscapes form. Obstacles rise, and the burden finally falls away. When John Bunyan is eventually released, the book spreads fast. Translated, reprinted, passed from hand to hand across countries and centuries, written by a prisoner, read by millions. The irony is impossible to miss. The man locked behind bars writes one of the most influential books in history about freedom, about perseverance, about staying the course when turning back would be easier. John Bunyan was silenced by force, but his words never were. And long after the jail was torn down, his story kept moving forward, one pilgrim at a time. John Bunyan spent years in prison for preaching. William Tyndale also risked his life to bring the Bible to England, and you won't believe what happened to him.